With the election date here in Kenya fast approaching, her standards is keeping up with female politicians from around the country. On this episode, we actually are in Nyeri County, where we meet a senatorial candidate known as Waithanji, who is up against 4 other contenders in the August 9th elections. She tells me that she's very optimistic about winning. We will get to hear more about that. But first, we want to welcome you to the show. My name is Quintambori. Thank you once again for keeping it here every Saturday and within the week, for a repeat show to enjoy all the doses of inspiration that we bring to you. Remember, we are available across all socials at KTN Home on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm also available at Quintambori, and you can still hit me up and tell me what the temperatures are wherever you are watching us from. How are things happening? Are you hopeful that the candidates that you are supporting are going to clinch the respective positions that they are vying for? I'm so excited to have Mercy on the show today. Remember, during this political season, we are highlighting and profiling women across the country, women politicians, first-timers, veterans, people who are setting new standards, and we are very excited that we can do this in partnership with yourself. Now, allow me to welcome my guest for today. She's called Mercy Waithanji, and as I had mentioned, she is a senatorial candidate in Nyeri County. Karibu sana mheshimiwa.
Asante sana Queen.
Yes. Na hongera. You have made it this far.
Yes. Yes.
Niko na swali. What is the first thing that you plan to do when you win the elections on August 9th?
The first thing I plan to do is actually help the chamas access funds to expand their businesses. What I can tell you is that we are not starting this country from the scratch.
Yeah.
There are many good things that are already happening, that are already there. But I realized as I go around that the electorate have no idea that we have very good opportunities that they can tap into. They have no idea. Secondly, there is also, I don't know whether you're aware there are such funds, affirmative action funds, but the electorate does not know because the leaders do not reach out. So they have no way of accessing information. So whenever I tell them that they can access interest-free loans, they can't believe it. And for sure, I will make sure that those groups that are ready, they are registered, they will get that money. And they can now expand their business, whether it's agri-business or any other small business, because businesses are really struggling in every way. Secondly, the youth. Yeah. They need to access skills. I don't know whether you're aware that again there is a fund set aside for the youth who are interested in gaining skills. Those who've completed fourth form from the year 2000. They can access skills. They can go to polytechnics like Nyeri institutes. They can go to, we used to call it Meru Technical, Madenge Institute of Technology, Mokoroine Institute of Technology. There are all those institutes that were spruced up, ready to receive these young people. And they'll be equipped. We'll have now plumbers, we'll have electricians, we'll have not just drivers, but drivers who are also mechanics, in the sense that they will be certified mechanical engineers, plant operators. And these skills are very, very important because they will prepare them to be job ready, not just within the country, but within the region and also within the world. Because I see all these skills being advertised. So it excites me that that is already a game changer. And it's been there, it's nothing new. That's why I'm saying that the country will just continue. And there are good things. So we are not starting Kenya, we are continuing, and I'm helping them tap into what is beautiful and what will change the game for the youth. So those are the 2 things very close to my heart. Yes.
That you plan to do as soon as you're
declared. Hitting the ground running and making sure that our business community in Nyeri our youth in Nyeri County, they tap into, because I tell them and they think I'm joking. Although even before I get the senatorial, because I'm the incoming senator of Nyeri County, even before I get there, I've already helped 25 youths. Yes, apply, and they've been placed, so they're just waiting to report in September. And that one really excites me. Of course, there are other things that I'll do, but later, because we need a bit of a process.
Yeah.
As I did my campaigns, Nyeri is very diverse. We have the very green side of Nyeri, and we have the very, very, very dry, devastated side of Nyeri. And when I talk about devastated, the sad thing is that it is the most fertile that can produce so much food. Nyeri can be the fruit basket of our country. And all we need to do is make sure that that place has water. The rivers dried up, there are no trees. That I'm talking about KN West. Even the invasive species have invaded the place. So the farmers are hardworking, but there's no water to farm, so they're so devastated. So within the year, I plan to make sure that at least we have dams and boreholes that will enable those hardworking farmers of KN make money through farming. Even now, as we rejuvenate the water towers of KN, I'm an environment activist, and I really want to see those rivers flowing again, and they can. And this one will need consultation with the stakeholders, with the people of KN, with the administration, with well-wishers, and I know within 1 year, those people will be singing a different song. Yes, we'll start slowly, and we'll have a plan of, just making it better and better and better. Yes.
Thanks for saying that, Mercy. Many of our viewers are probably meeting you on this show for the very, 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 very first time. They have never seen your face.
Yes,
They've
yes.
never heard about you.
Yes.
Probably have never read about you.
Uh-huh.
So apart from the fact that you are an environmentalist,
Yes.
what would you like to tell them about who you are and why you decided to vie for the position of, senator and not governor or MCA or the president of this country? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And personally, I was very disappointed by the political games I see in this country. We do not have a scarcity of politicians. We have them in abundance. And year in, year out, they take us for a ride. I've always voted, but I am disappointed. I was very proud of voting in Kibaki as my MP, as my president, and he did me proud. And he set the standards. And his integrity was above par. And he never listened to the noise. He just worked. How many leaders do you know that are like that? Even you, Queen. How many leaders? So we have politicians, but we don't have leaders. And I believe that I am a great leader of impact, because I have been very impactful in other areas. In a small way, you are told to do big, even small things in a big way.
Yeah.
So I have done that in the past. And I've also, I feel so bad because, like I normally say, when others stand. When others stand, be outstanding. When others are outstanding, be the benchmark. Be the standard. We do not have those leaders that set the standards. We have them, of course, but they are only 10% of the governors, 10% in Senate, 10% in the National Assembly, 10% even in MCAs.
County Assembly.
Yes, County Assembly. So I said, why not me? Why can't I give myself up? And I know I'm going to leave great impact, because those that have been there I even ask, what can they be remembered for? And honestly, there's nothing to remember them for. They just think that just because they are politicians, they are entitled to be either governors or senators or MCAs or MPs, but that should not be the case. And I wish the electorate elected people carefully. I tell them, okay, if people come throwing money at you, take it. But please, do not sell your birthright, which is your voting right.
Yeah.
Keep your voters' voting card very nicely. Eat all the money that they are throwing around. But when it comes to voting, just vote for the leader, because the leader will unlock opportunities for you. Yes. So that's why I decided to vie, because I believed that I am the senator that Nyeri County has never had. So here I am. Yes.
Are you born and bred in Nyeri?
Yes, I am born and bred in Nyeri. I am from Odaya.
From there?
Yes, sub-county.
Okay.
Yes.
How was it growing up in Nyeri?
Nyeri, are you finding it very warm?
It's cold.
Yes, yes, it's generally a very cold place.
Yeah.
But during those days, the forests were real. It was even more cold.
Yeah.
And what I love most about Nyeri, everything in Nyeri is so sweet. You will taste the water straight from the tap. It's very sweet. You will taste the tea. There is no tea in the world that's sweeter than Udaya tea. I'm telling you, it is the sweetest. There is no milk sweeter than Udaya milk. In fact, I'll make sure all of you have a cup of Udaya milk. You will go singing it. So I loved it growing up in Nyeri. It was really nice. And I think because the trees are so tall, even the people there are tall. Because of that milk, that sweet water, that and even the cabbage, the skumas that grow there and the spinach, they are very, very tasty. So the food is in plenty. There is no shortage of food there.
No shortage.
And then the good leadership from the late Mwai Kibaki really put it above par. Yes.
Very well, Mheshimiwa. We'll talk about food because it is a pertinent issue in this country later on.
Yes.
But I know before you qualified to be a candidate, in the upcoming general elections, there was a process that majority of female politicians were subjected to, had to go through constitutionally, and that is the party primaries. And given the feedback that we are getting from the ground, a majority of them were actually lamenting that they went through a sham process, and many of them were subjected to violence. Many of them, because of the party dynamics, the zoning and the negotiated democracy, they felt as though the process was unfair to them and locked them out. What was your experience, Mheshimiwa?
First of all, I knew that was bound to happen from a long time, because it's nothing new. Surely it's nothing new. And insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results, surely. So I looked at the situation and I decided I, Mercy Waithanji, will not go through that process. So from the beginning, I decided I would go in as an independent candidate, and if there is a price to pay, I will pay the price. And I really sympathized with my sisters.
Yeah.
It's a man's world, and it will take a little longer for men to understand that they should bring women in the team. Instead of throwing them out, instead of harassing them, they should protect them. So because I did not want to be subjected to all that, even at my age, I decided, apana, let me go through the independent way from the beginning. And I have no regrets. Because I went on. Of course, there were hurdles. Looking like the Senate candidate had to get 2,000 signatures and copy of IDs. And to get valid ones, you had to collect 4,000. Where I'm telling you, it is just by God's grace that I made it. So, there was that price to pay. But so far, so good. I am in the ballot. And that is what I wanted. the electorate to make a decision, not party bosses to decide for me, negotiate with me and tell me, step down for Queen. Why should I step down for you? Who tells you that the electorate does not want me and it wants Queen? And for sure, some of the candidates that were fronted are very, very unpopular, and they won't even go through. Honestly, they won't. So I am happy to be an independent candidate. I'm happy to have jumped all those hurdles, and I'm happy to just soldier on, because it is not easy. Given that, well, it's not that I had even the money, but for me, it's a journey of faith. It's a journey of faith, knowing that money is just a single resource. There's so many more that you can do, like the opportunities I'm talking about. Those are resources. I may not have money in the pocket as Mercy Waithanji, but I know where the money is. Billions of shillings. And I will take my people to the source of, that I mentioned, I alluded to earlier. So I am happy that I decided to go it alone, and we are counting days.
And you're on the ballot.
And I'll emerge the winner. Yes, against all odds. And I am happy because then women, my sisters out there, next time you vie, do not depend on party. No, depend on God himself. Because that way, if it is his will that you are going to take up that position, against all odds, you will make it. Another thing I would ask our dear sisters, let us get together, even as sisters, and join hands and form a formidable force so that we protect anyone of us who is harassed in every way possible. No one has permission to harass women just because they've stepped out to lead their people. Yes.
Is it your first time in politics?
This is my first time in politics.
Elective politics?
Yes. I have never tried. I have never attempted. But I said, people like me need to be in politics because we need leaders. We need more leaders. And I'm also encouraging ladies and gentlemen out there, you know you are a leader. You know you are impactful. Do not be scared of getting into politics. It is not a dirty game. It is the players that are dirty. And if you are not dirty, it won't make you dirty. No. So, come on, join us. And next time, come and vie and let us make Kenya different. Let us make Kenya shine, because Kenya is a very, very rich country, rich in resources. Like I say, Nyeri is very rich in resources. What we lack are resourceful leaders, that are able to take advantage of those resources. And we have leaders in Kenya who know exactly how to go about it, but they say, mimi siasa, So I would encourage them to get out of that fear. Yes, yes.
As an independent candidate, Mercy, did you come across some challenges along the way of campaigning, and how did you manage it? How did you handle that?
Okay. As an independent candidate, the challenges have been many. One, independent candidate.
Yeah, you talked about the money aspect.
Yes. Secondly, being a new entrant, I find other older politicians in the game. I said that we are 5 of us. And out of the 5, 3, I find like the 3 of them kind of forget that there are 2 people, the 2 of us, who are new entrants. So I'm very happy to have gotten this platform to say that we don't have 3, we have 5. The other thing is that the opinion polls really amuse me, because what happens is that let's say we have those managed candidates. So depending on who is running the opinion polls, either one or the other is on top. And then the second and the third, the 2 of us are not even there. We don't even exist. But I'm very happy because those 3 candidates only have 3 votes, and the votes are for themselves. I'm very excited because the votes are on the ground. They are with the electorate. They're the ones I'm going to. They're the ones I'm asking for the votes. And surprisingly, they are very receptive. In fact, when I tell them about the opportunities that are there, they are shocked. And they also tell me, by the way, ma'am, don't worry. Those politicians, those recycled politicians, we know them. We can't remember them for anything they did for us. So if you are going to give us new hope, we will give you our vote. And I tell them, and eat their money. Kula kwa wao, kura kwa masi. That's what I tell them. So there's been that thing of like being intimidated. But I'm a very courageous person. I am not shaken. I am unbogable, I am unshakable, and I soldier on in the face of all those challenges. As a matter of fact, one of my opponents, whenever we meet in a place, I never talk about when we are with my opponents. I never say, do not vote for Quint because of ABCD, never. I just tell them, vote for me because of ABCD, but she will stand up and say, do not vote for Mercy. Point blank, and I've just spoken. So I cannot stand again, and I don't want to, that drama. So do not vote for Mercy, vote for me because of ABCD, vote, we'll give tutapatia Mercy kazi, you know me, I have been there before, so in this politics you need people who are experienced. And I ask myself, experienced in what? Politicians who are experienced. But anyway, I'm of an opposite view, that what we need is not experienced politicians, but great leaders who can make a difference in this county, this beautiful county of Nyeri.
Well, if you're just joining, this is Her Standards, and I am seated here with Mercy Waithanji, who is aspiring to be a senator in Nyeri County. Remember, we are just a few days close to going to the ballot, and we're very excited to keep you updated with the stories of female politicians from around the country. We want to take a short break. We have some bills to pay, but don't go away. Remember, you can still keep it here across our social media platforms at KTN Home, at Quintambori. We still have a lot to talk about in the second part of this interview. We want to engage Mercy on how women can fundraise for their campaigns, the ever-elusive two-thirds gender rule, and much more. Do not go away. Welcome back to Her Standards with me, Quintambori. I am today in the company of an aspiring senator in Nyeri County. She will introduce herself because right now yeye ni mheshimiwa, mtarajiwa, and speaking to the public is something that is an art that she has mastered. So I am joined by
Mercy Waithanji, the upcoming senator of Nyeri County.
Exactly. We are very excited to be keeping up with these politicians. We are on the home stretch, and we have just a few more days before we make very important decisions for this country, where we will be able to elect the leaders who will work with us for the next 5 years. As Her Standards, the show that connects, influences, and empowers women, we have made it upon ourselves to ensure that you know these leaders who are women, and we are getting them from across the country. We have come from Woodley, where we met MCA who is known as Sefu Sani, and now we are in the company of Mercy, straight from Nyeri, and she's very optimistic that things will look up. Now, Mercy, one thing I know for sure, that women have to work almost twice as hard as men to
Yes.
make it in the political world. And you alluded to that
Yes.
fact in the first part of this interview.
Yes.
And one of the impediments of women's political journeys and ambitions is normally what we call the toddler in the room, the children, okay? I read somewhere that women, especially the ones who have children or the ones who are expectant or the ones who are breastfeeding, they must be able to reassure their voters that they can still be political leaders.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I agree totally.
Yeah.
Pregnancy is not a sickness. Breastfeeding is not a disease. Having babies is not a sickness. If anything, it's a great achievement. And if women can take care of homes and their babies and all that, kudos to them. They're already managing their home pretty well. And women have a heart and they are serious. When you give them a task, they really do it and do it very well. Of course, the men try to downplay it, and I would encourage them not to be discouraged, but to continue doing what a woman got to do. So if you're pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, if you have little babies, however many they are, and you're listening to me, go for it. The babies will grow. Even as we were breastfeeding at one time, and look at us. Oh, you didn't breastfeed?
I did.
Look at you. Thanks to who? To your mom.
Yeah.
A great woman, isn't it?
Yes, she
A
is.
great woman of substance. So great women of substance out there, please do not be shaken. Do not be cowed. Stand strong. Have faith. Be very courageous and march on. Do not give up your vision because of being scared of the chauvinistic attitudes or what people will think about you, because it is you who knows what you can do for your community. So I encourage you to go for it. Yes.
And what with the decisions regarding elections and political parties, most of them happen in very ungodly hours when these women who are, who are mothers or women who are wives, they're expected to perform other duties.
Yes.
So what can politicians do, to maneuver that, to ensure that you're not left out?
All right. First of all, the ungodly hours are very few compared to the godly hours. Because if you look at the godly hours,
Yeah.
we have like from 8 to 8. Those are already how many hours? 6. That's about 12 hours. You can do a lot within 12 hours. Now, the ungodly hours, a lot of ungodly things also happen.
Yeah.
So they are not productive hours. So again, ladies should not be intimidated by that. No, 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 no. Do what you can do within the godly hours, and you can achieve much, much more. You will be surprised at what you can achieve. The ungodly hours, leave it to those who love the ungodly hours. Yeah, because you need to sleep. You need to work. You need to take care of the babies. You need to take care of your homes. And you need to sleep well. Yeah, so that you can serve the people well. So you shouldn't be worried about the ungodly hours that happen and the political parties. You shouldn't be worried. And I thank God because being an independent candidate is an option. So you don't have to be tied down and bogged down and mishandled and mistreated by parties. That's my take.
Isn't it lonely being an independent candidate?
It is lonely.
Yeah.
It is very lonely being an independent candidate. It is very difficult. But it is a price you have to pay. Because I'll ask you a question.
Yes, please.
Is it better to be an independent candidate or to be nipped in the bud? You know what you're capable of, but the party doesn't want you. And they are not God. Where would you rather be?
Because I'm not a politician.
Yes.
I'm going to pose that question, probably answer it off the camera.
Yes.
But of course, I think what women can do is just to make sure that they take care of They take care of themselves. They take care of their interests.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I would go for. That's my pragmatic answer to that question.
Yes, stop being other people's projects. In fact, you can do better than them. If you know yourself and you truly know what you're capable of, then do not fear and do not follow the shortcut. Going the party way looks like a shortcut. And if it doesn't work for you, by all means, take the untrodden path, take the difficult path, and courageously soldier on. Yes.
Well said, Musha. What do you think Kenyans are missing out from having more, or actually a better representation of women in politics? I'm talking about, I think the current parliament has 23% representation of women, inclusive of all the affirmative action seats, including all those who are nominated in the Senate, although everyone who is even in the county assembly, it is, I think it's around 23%. What are we missing out as a country if we had more women leadership?
Now, what it means is that we don't have the full team playing ball. When you leave women out, my goodness, you disadvantage yourself. Even men disadvantage themselves without knowing. Now, even the courage, the woman to have a courage to vie for any seat, may it be presidential, may it be gubernatorial, may it be senatorial, may it be MP, may it be MCA. For a woman to step out and say, I am vying, that is a big step, because they are doing it against all odds. Now, women, as I said, also make very good managers, very good leaders, and they are more sincere. Actually, if you look at the corruption cases, of course, there are some women who are catching up very well, but if you look at the statistics,
Sadly,
who are more corrupt? Just go to the Auditor General's report, and you will see the statistics. There are hardly any women who are doing badly. But even the sitting governors, they are doing very badly in the, according to the Auditor General's report. Meaning that we need more women in position of leadership, because they are sincere, they are hardworking, they care for the electorate, they care to make sure that the projects are completed. Women are just special. It's just that they are really mainly and mostly undermined. So I would encourage even the electorate to chagua mama. Chagueni mama. If you have an MCA option of a woman, go for her. MP, go for the woman. Gubernatorial, go for the woman. Actually, the governors, the women gubernatorial or governors have really tried, have really done well. If they are senators, give it to the women and watch Kenya get transformed, because women are very great leaders. And I congratulate all the presidential candidates, all the gubernatorial candidates who have taken women as running mates. That is commendable, because then it means they are champions for affirmative action, for making sure that the 1/3 representation is achieved. They are champions that support that particular move. So I commend the gentlemen who have taken up women to be their running mates. Yes.
What do you think it will take to have more women represented in politics in Kenya? Remember, we are actually, if you look at the scenario in East Africa, we are last. Even South Sudan has better representation, Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, they are all ahead of us. What will it take? What do we need to tell our male allies, our male leaders, our community leaders? What do we need to tell them in order so that to change their mind, so that we are able to have a better representation of the population in this country? And we can also, in the same breath, remember we also have the special interest group, we have the youth, we have people with disability, What will it take?
Now, it will take a lot of advocacy. So, those special groups, the women, youth, PWD, must get organized and come together. There should be advocacy. We should sit on the table with those decision makers and the president, the parliamentarians, because remember, there was a law that the parliamentarians decided to break, not even bend, because there was a law that required that they get more women in that parliament. But the men refused. Fine, it's a man's world, I mean, because culturally, that's just how we are wired. And nobody could ask them. And because fighting never helped anyone, that's why I'm talking about advocacy, so that we have the special groups, and we also have the men champion who stand for that, joining them, so that we make sure that the law is followed to the letter. And we are leaving nobody out when we talk about leadership in Kenya. Because of that, because of what you've just said, that we are trailing and doing very badly, that is why we are also trailing and doing very badly as a country, yet surely we have all the resources. But look, we only have half the team driving the country. So we have to do things differently if we are to expect different results by bringing everyone at the table. Yes.
How do you intend to solve that gender inequality crisis in Nyeri when elected? Yes.
Number one, when elected, I will champion that inclusivity. I will definitely champion. How will I do that? I'll get to meet with the stakeholders. I'll get to meet with those categories, get the champions, get to discuss. You know, you have to have engagements. And sometimes you even have to create awareness, because sometimes things happen because people are not aware. And then we will have expectations. We will work with a plan that by the end of the year, we should have, look at the procurement law. I'll make sure that the special category, the procurement law is followed to the letter. And that will create jobs for the special category. Because right now, they flout these rules without even batting an eyelid. But you see, as a senator now, I can put my foot down and say, no, 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 no. No. Go back and draw. Go back to the drawing board. Because we need to give these opportunities to the special groups first. Number two, once you give them the businesses, they must be paid within 30 days. Now that's procurement. Leadership. I'll join with like-minded senators, parliamentarians, and we fight, not in a bad way, to see that at least the law is followed to the letter, without fearing, without fear, without favor.
Yeah, there is this very controversial law in Parliament, Mahesh, and you alluded to it. It's called the two-thirds gender rule. It is mentioned elaborately in the Constitution, I think chapter 97, 81. There are several other chapters ahead in front. It seems that fighting for it legally has hit a snag. It's not working. What alternative ways can we ensure that we use as leaders who are going to, to be held accountable by Kenyans? Because when you look at the population of Kenya, we are almost 50-50. As a matter of fact, I think women are more. We're about
52.
50, yeah, we are more than men. How do we? Because if going the legal way is not happening, and when we send you to Parliament, we expect to see some changes.
Yes, you will.
Yes. So
Yes.
how do we ensure? What other options? What other alternatives do we have? Because the legal way has refused. What other alternatives do we have?
That's why I'm saying we really have to be very tough negotiators.
Yeah.
We really have to join hands. One person may not manage, but first of all women in Parliament, in Senate, must come together. Even in county assembly, there must be a caucus. Plus, the men champions. And you start a movement. It's only a movement now that can help make sure that this law comes to life. There is no other way. And there is no there should be no relenting. You should push and push and push and push and push. Let me tell you, let me give you an example.
Yeah.
I'm inspired, very much inspired by role models like Wangari Maathai, role models like Mama Koigi wa Mwere. Remember there was detention without trial?
Yes, it was.
Maybe you are not born. How did it end? Just because Wangari Maathai mobilized women to stand and say no. Were they beaten up?
Yes, they were.
Thoroughly beaten up. Mama Koigi was there leading them, and 2 of her children were in detention. And Moi said, we will release your 2 sons. She said, no, it's not about my 2 sons. Until the last of them is out, the movement continues. And the movement continued, led by Mama Koigi, who I have so much admiration for, and who you should go to interview. She's a great leader, and she'd be interviewed. She'd tell Moi a piece of her mind in Kikuyu. There would be an interpreter there who would be confused of how to interpret such a message. Moi was really feared.
Yeah.
I mean, we are in better times. Uhuru is not so much feared. The next president will not be so much feared. People are becoming bolder and bolder. And people your age are also becoming bolder and bolder.
True.
I mean, if Mama Koigi, women who've never gone to school, could stand up and end detention without trial in their own small way through such a movement, come on. This is easy. We just need to be focused. We just need to join hands with social, what do you call these people?
Social activists?
Yes.
Human rights activists?
Yes, human rights activists, because it's a human right that is being violated.
True.
Young girls like you, because you are the ones who we will pass the baton to. All the women, whether you are in leadership, in politics or not, we join hands. And we form a movement. And I'm telling you, nothing can beat a determined soul. And I remember Mama Koigi telling Moi, Mr. Moi, you can crush my bones to pulp, but let me tell you what, you will never touch my spirit. So if we have courageous women like Mama Koigi, like those women you saw in Uhuru Park, who inspire me so much, like Wangari Maathai, for sure. Wangari may be long dead, but she left that spirit in some of us, and I want it also to be new. And then together, we form that great movement. And you see what will happen in exactly 2 years. The problem is that people keep quiet.
Okay.
And we are told when good people keep quiet, bad things happen. So it's the high time women woke up. It's the high time women fought for that space, because they will not just get it. Look at the freedom fighters.
Yeah.
It was the same thing, the Mau Mau movement, and it was unstoppable. So we need something that is unstoppable. No violence, very peaceful. Look at what happened, what Mahatma did. It was a very peaceful movement. But that's what we need, and we need to be serious about it. And let me tell you, and it shall come to pass. Yes.
You know, you've mentioned very inspiring women role models of this generation. You've talked about Wangari Maathai, you've talked about Mama Koigi, and several other leaders that we have who have lasting legacies, and we have nothing but beautiful stories to say about them. Now, on the contrary, when it comes to politics, and I can tell you for free that possibly before or during the campaign period in 2017, it was the same narrative. People promising us, oh, we'll do this, oh, we will reduce the cost of living, we will, build roads for you, we will take your children to school. But look at us right now, Mercy. Everyone is crying. The country is in pain. The country is feeling the pinch of tough economic times, chakula, unga, mafuta, these are basic needs. Unga, mafuta, maziwa, everything, the price has, shot up and hit the roof. What do you think we need to do as a country to ensure that whatever we promise our electorates, we deliver?
Now, Queen, that depends on the integrity of the people that are elected. So that's why I advise the electorate to elect. If you have elected someone before that never delivered, why are you giving them another chance? Why? Give other people chances. So partly it's the electorate's fault because they get conned. Wanawekwa kwa box tena na tena. Seriously? Please say no for once and go for leadership, not politics. That way, things will change. Yes.
Tukimalizia, actually, I can see the producer telling me that we need to wind up.
Okay.
Yeah. When Martha was nominated as the presidential running mate for Azimio la Umoja Party, what did that moment do to you? Do you think it presents a future of hope for women in leadership in this country?
Actually, that was a positive move to get Mother at that point. And my hope is that she will continue standing her ground.
Yeah.
That's my prayer, because sometimes the trappings of power may change you if you're not careful. So, if she remains the Mother Wangari we've always known, that will be good. If the trappings of power change her, that will be very sad. Because there are some things that have happened already, which I thought she should speak loudly against, but she's treading very carefully. So, that is making me a bit worried. And, however, it was a great moment for us to know that our own gender has a chance to be on top leadership of this country, should they go through. Yes. And I also wish that Ruto really had considered a woman, but it's okay, even Gachagua is okay. It's just that I'm very much, I'm very much for that equity, that inclusivity. It's at the core of my heart. Yes. So I was happy. Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That has been Mercy Waithanji. The second name keeps eluding me, keeps running away from me. Mercy Waithanji is a candidate for Nyeri County Senatorial position. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for opening up and explaining your manifesto to the people of your county. We hope that wamekusikiliza vizuri na watakuchagua.
Yes.
And we like holding people to accountable on this show. So
yes.
When you're elected, because we believe that you'll get this position when you're elected,
yes,
we will come back to you and make sure that everything you said on this show is delivered to your people.
Yes.
Because on this show, we set very high standards for women across the globe. Remember, if you have any comments or questions for our guest for today, you can talk to us at KTN Home, Queen Tambori. You can also talk to our producer. She's called Grace Waweru. You can find her available on social media. Now, we just want to take this chance to thank you for keeping it here from the start until now that we've come to the end. These are very unique times in our country. We pray and urge you to be peaceful as we conduct these elections on August 9th. Till next time, keep your head, your heels, and as well as your standards high. Bye for now.